everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. And we're really excited today. We have with us actress Jaycie Dotin is here, and we really enjoyed her in Scouting for Christmas. So we wanted a chance to talk to you, and thank you so much for coming on and talk with us.
Thank you for having me. I am so excited to be here.
Yeah. So what we like to do with new guests is give you a chance to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what inspired you to become an actress.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Well, I'm Jaycie Dotin. I mean, do you want the long or the short of it? Because I won't go too far into it. What inspired me to be an actress? My dad actually was a professional musician for gosh knows how long. And I grew up on the road with his band. So
Oh, wow.
at like 4 days old, I was in the recording studio. At 4 weeks, we went on the road. And so growing up, I just thought that was a normal job. You know, your dad's up on stage playing music and recording an album. And so that sort of created my love for the performing arts. And then, you know, as you do, you start dancing when you're young. And
Uh-huh.
as I got older, I really got into community theater and
Yeah.
really enjoyed the performing and the singing side of things. And then I kind of realized, oh, wait, this can be my job. So,
Yeah.
so then went on to major in musical theater in college, and it all just kind of exploded from there. So, it started at a really, really young age that I knew I wanted to do this for a living. So,
I saw that you had musical theater background, and I'm also a theater critic, so I absolutely
ah,
love musical theater.
what's your favorite
So,
musical?
well, I mean, Les Mis was the first one I ever really fell in love with. I knew it backwards, forwards, everywhere. When I was in high school, it was my obsession, and so it's still my favorite. I do also love one called Bright Star.
Oh, I haven't
It's a
seen
little
that.
more obscure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't. I have no idea why it didn't do that well on Broadway, but it's absolutely beautiful, and it's written by Edie Brickell and Steve Martin, if you can believe it.
Oh my gosh, I must,
Yeah.
must.
But it's not really a comedy. It has some funny parts, but
Uh-huh.
because he's a banjo player, Steve
Yes, I
Martin.
did know
Yeah.
that. He's
And so it
phenomenal.
taps into those kind of bluesgrass roots and those. It's a beautiful story about
Oh,
this young love, and then something happens that it's set in the South, I think Georgia, I forget. But anyway, it's post World War II. The soldiers are just coming back, and this woman is kind of looking back at her life and certain things that happen. I won't spoil it, but and a sort of a lost love and could be found again, and it's just
oh
beautiful, and I
wow.
love it.
That sounds amazing. I was actually just in New York this past weekend for the
Oh,
Broadway opening of Sunset Boulevard.
what'd you think?
I one of my best friends from college, that was his Broadway debut.
Oh,
And I've never, if you get a chance to head out there, run to the theater
oh
to
my
get your tickets. It is
gosh.
one of the most incredible things I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard about some of the things like the video
Oh,
camera and some of the other stuff, so I'm dying to see it.
it's honestly, I was saying, I think it's going to change the trajectory of musical theater.
Oh
Sort
my
of like In the
gosh.
Heights or Hamilton, how they brought sort of rap into
Uh-huh,
theater, and then
uh-huh.
everybody kind of copied that. I think that what Sunset has done with their production and the storytelling, it's going to change the way that Broadway presents their stories from here on
Yeah.
out. And it was
Well, I
just,
mean, Jamie Doyle, he's such an interesting producer and director and everything, what he does over there. It's
yes.
very exciting. And yeah, I'm actually going in December, and I'm hopeful that I'll get to
Book your
see it.
tickets now. Book them
Yeah,
now.
I know. The hard part is that I'm there on a trip with my cousins, so and my
Oh,
my parents are paying for it. So like I really have to make sure I keep the family happy. It can't be my normal, I've
that's
just seen two shows every day if it was just me. But
my friend and I went to three in one day.
yeah, yeah. That's how I am.
Yep. We'd be good in New York together.
Yeah, we would. That would be so fun. There's nothing like being in New York, seeing a Broadway show. Oh,
I
absolutely love
agree.
it. Well, do you remember your first time on camera? You must have been pretty young.
Well, my first time on camera, now we're going to get real specific with this one. I
Yeah.
was 5 or 6, and I won a contest to be the lead in a commercial for our local news station. And we were promoting a like a little Easter egg hunt that they were doing for the community. I had one line, and it was just exactly, what do you mean eggs? Because it was an egg
Yeah,
hunt.
yeah.
That was my first time on camera, but my first like professional television gig was about 8 years ago when I first moved to Canada
Oh,
for a
wow.
show called iZombie.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
was my first TV credit.
Were you
Yeah,
so nervous? That,
I was.
yeah, I
I was
bet.
so nervous because I've been on stage in front of thousands of people. I mean,
Yeah.
the Jersey Boys tour, and I used to do cruise ships and Vegas. I've performed live in front of bajillions of people. But man, that first time in front of the camera, when you've got
Yeah.
all these crew members staring at you and all of these sort of famous name people, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I've done it. I'm here. I've made it.
Yeah, it's a really different beast, isn't it?
Yes, it is
Yeah, then
extremely different. The technique is completely different. And I definitely hit some bumps along the way, but I've learned more and more every time I get on set, and still learning to this day, but I feel like I kind of have a little bit of a handle on it now.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
Ho, ho, ho. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast, especially at Christmas?
Do you enjoy the holiday previews, recaps, interviews, and bonus episodes?
If the answer is yes, please consider supporting the Hallmarkies Patreon. We need your help to do what we do both during the Christmas season and all year round.
But not only do you help a podcast led by strong, independent women by becoming a Patreon, you get to become a part of the Hallmarkies family.
Starting at only $2 a month as a patron, you will have access to our Facebook Patreon group where we talk about the movies, shows, and more all year.
We also have many monthly patron watch-alongs with guests like Lacey Chabert, Natalie Hall, Paul Campbell, Mary Lou Henner, and more, giving their behind-the-scenes details of their films.
As a patron, you also have the chance to provide input into the podcast and even join us at different tiers.
So this Christmas season, spread some cheer to the Hallmarkies Patreon and become a member today. You won't regret it.
Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies to learn more.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
What inspired you to go up there to Canada and make that?
well, I married a Canadian, so
That'll do it.
that'll do it. We were actually living in Los Angeles for about 7 years, and he got an incredible job offer here in Vancouver. And little did I know that the entertainment industry was just booming up here, and so it ended up being a great move for both of us in our respective industries. So
Hollywood of the North.
sorry.
It's like Hollywood of the North.
Yes, it 100% is. And here I was thinking like, oh, I'm going to come and I'm going to do theater and it's going to be great. And then there was just so much film and TV happening that my agent was like, hey, maybe we should give film and TV a shot. And so I was like, okay, whatever. Sounds fun.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's it like being in a Hallmark movie or this type of movie, being part of the ensemble? What's that whole experience kind of like?
Oh, man. Hallmark just has this way of making their sets just the happiest places to be. I mean, I've worked on a ton of different shows, different budgets, different networks, and they've all been fun. But some have their little moments. But
Yeah.
I've never been on a Hallmark set where I haven't had a smile on my face the entire time. It is just magical, and you don't feel like you're at work. You're literally just there playing pretend with your friends. Like it's just so great. Everybody is on their gigs, super professional, super kind, super supportive. It's just I can't say enough good things.
I've heard that it kind of has like a summer camp vibe.
That is honestly, I have never heard that, but that is the best way to describe it. I mean, especially in a situation like with Curious Caterer, where we have the same sort of main cast each time. We've created this little family, and it literally is like going to summer. I love it.
Do you have good craft services? Yeah. Yeah.
That honestly, I tell people. And if you follow our social media, me and Nikki, anytime we're shooting together, she's always making fun of me because I'm a snack monster. And so I tell people that the only reason I got into film and TV was for craft services.
Yeah. Well, our good friend Donna Benedicto, have you ever done one with her? But
yes, I have.
She is she's the best at talking about
phenomenal. And she will get me I'm obsessed with the Welch's little fruit snacks, and so she'll get me like always make sure she has those on set for me. It's fantastic.
Nice. It must be amazing, especially when many of these are filmed in the summer, to see these like winter wonderlands like appear. It
Yes,
must be
it's
incredible.
incredible how they do it too. A lot of it is special effects after the fact.
Hmm.
Sometimes though, they actually have to have snow if we're interacting with it. So they'll
Yeah.
truck in these massive trucks and just like be scooping snow everywhere. And here we are, it's 80 degrees out, and we've got a scarf and a sweater and a vest and a we're just like
Yeah.
sweating. Everyone thinks it's this glamorous thing, and trust me, it is not.
Yeah. Well, I've heard some people have ice packs under their jackets.
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll
Yeah.
stick ice packs in all of our any pocket that we can get
Yeah.
inside the bra. Same thing in the winter when they
Oh,
want
that's
us to
smart.
pretend like it's spring. We get we call them hot shots. So
Hmm.
those little things you can put in your
Yeah.
pockets, hand warmers. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, in the bra and all the pockets and everything. We have our little ways to keep cool and warm whenever needed.
Yeah. So you've done a number of different mysteries. Have you ever gotten to play the murderer?
I did. I
Ah,
was in an Aurora tea garden
nice.
before Candace left. I
Yeah.
want to say it was please don't quote me on this. I think it was number 17.
Okay.
But yes, I mean, if you haven't seen it, sorry, spoiler alert. But yes, I was the killer, and it was so fun. I
Oh
had
yeah, honeymoon,
so
honey
much.
murder.
It was great. Yeah, I had a really good time on that one.
I always
Got
figured
to do a
that must be
stunt.
fun.
That
Yeah.
was
Oh,
super
you
fun.
did?
Oh yeah, I was like running through the woods, and Candace came and like tackled me on the ground. It was wild. Yeah.
That's cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that one must be interesting to all the coordination that goes into something like that.
The stunts. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, typically we will have stunt performers. It was just a very odd situation where we had about 10 minutes of daylight left. We had to get the shot. We were like towards the end of the shoot. And our location was quite far from where Circus. So if I don't
Yeah.
lingo, but Circus is where all of our trailers, makeup, hair,
Okay.
catering. So, and the set was probably about 15-20 minute drive, and we couldn't get our stunt performers there fast enough, and we had to shoot it. So
Oh,
so we ended up
wow.
just doing as many takes as we could until they got there, just in case they weren't able to make it in time and we ran out of light. So yeah, we kind of just jumped in and said, all right, go for it.
That's cool. Huh,
You do
that's
what you got to do
interesting.
to make a movie, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Did you get to work with Mary Lou Henner in that one at all? Oh,
Yes.
love her.
Yeah, she
She's
was
my favorite.
lovely. Such a lovely human, and just
Yeah,
really wonderful to work with. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, so the Curious Caterer, it must be nice to have gotten to play the same part over several of these movies.
Yes, it is not lost on me how fortunate I am to get
Yeah.
to do that. Especially in the Hallmark world, you very, very rarely get to revisit these characters. And the fact that I've now had 5
Yeah.
opportunities to inject more life and personality and depth into her, it has been a dream, honestly.
Well, and Marla has some personality. I mean, she does.
That's an understatement, ma'am. That is,
Yeah, yeah,
she is a trip to say the least. But
yeah.
I have so much fun with her.
Hmm.
I just feel so lucky every day that I get to be on set, and even just when the films come out, or even if I'm just texting with cast members, like I feel very, very fortunate.
Yeah. Well, these last two must have been particularly fun because you have sort of the dress up costume element of the previous one, and then this most recent one, the whole rock star kind of element. That must have been fun.
Oh my gosh, yes. Little known fact about me, I am a huge nerd. I love I love video games. I love all things
Yeah.
nerdum. And my favorite movie ever is Labyrinth. Do you remember that back in
Uh-huh.
the
Yeah.
80s? Okay.
Uh-huh.
So the scene in Labyrinth where Sarah, she eats the peach and then she goes into sort of the dream sequence and she's in this beautiful gown. I have
Yeah.
always said if I ever go to Comic-Con, that is who I'm gonna dress up
Yeah.
as, is Sarah from Labyrinth. And then when I got the script for Foiled Plans and I realized that we were going to be in period garb in a castle, I was like, this is it. This is my moment.
Yeah.
And my fitting, just the whole time I was like running around the castle with my little dress. And oh man, it was definitely fulfilling all of my nerd dreams.
Yeah, that was my favorite of them because it was just so
Thing.
self-contained. It was so easy to kind of keep track of everybody and what's going on, and it just kept the pacing really good. And yeah, that one I thought it was the most like classic murder mystery that they've done
Clue.
in a
It had
while.
like Clue
Yeah,
vibe. Yeah,
Clue, Agatha Christie, kind of a vibe
absolutely.
to it. That one was fun.
Yeah, yeah. And then this past one, Forbidden Fruit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were all dressed up to the nines and had our little like, going out clothes on. It was, yeah, we had it
Well, it
was
was so exciting too because we actually got to hear Nikki sing.
fun.
I don't think to my memory, I don't think we've ever heard her sing in a Hallmark movie.
Well, listen, not to toot my own horn. However, I am taking credit for this because
Yes.
since movie 2, I have been saying I want us to sing because Nikki, Mickey Mouse Club, she was in a girl
Yeah,
group, me musical theater
absolutely.
background, Andrew can sing. I have been requesting it. I've been saying to them, I was like, listen, I want everybody to sing. We got to have like a karaoke or something. And I want Marla to get kidnapped. Those were the 2 things I've been asking for since movie 2. And here we go. We got them both in
Yeah,
one.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, ironically, we've heard Andrew sing because he did a music video for Snowden Christmas with
Yeah.
Bethany Joy Lentz. So we've heard him sing, but we've never heard Nikki sing.
Yeah, there we go.
So it was
Maybe we'll
fun.
have an album come out soon. Who knows?
Hey, yeah. You do the Curious Caterer greatest hits.
Yeah, check us out on Spotify. No.
Yeah. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the good folks at Harperthroat Press and Lindsay Detweiler in her new book, The Holiday Bake Off. Nothing can stop Lucy Carter from chasing her dreams until her boyfriend drops the bomb and tells her he's leaving her for someone else. Complicating things, she gets a phone call from her ailing grandmother asking her to return to the small town of Star Creek to help out with her beloved bakery. In the name of family loyalty, Lucy is forced to leave her aspirations behind, but the bakery's newest employee, an expert baker, handsome Will Westerly, might get in the way of her holiday. To get all of your holiday sweets reading in, make sure you check out The Holiday Bake Off by Lindsay Detweiler. You can get it wherever you purchase your holiday books or online and use the affiliate link below. It's The Holiday Bake Off by Lindsay Detweiler. We know you'll love it. But yeah, that one looked like fun too. Just the whole element with the rock star. That was, I thought, creative and fun. And also like it had good rom-com energy with the 2 of them kind of bantering back and forth and everything.
Oh yeah, I was actually after the movie aired, I was texting with Nikki and Andrew, and I just said, like I see you guys, I see you every day. I know what the scenes are. I know who you are in real life, and I was still like swooning. I was having those moments where I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Their chemistry is just insane in these films, and it just keeps getting better and better and better.
Well, and it's nice too because they keep putting Nikki in these dramas. And so at least with the Curious Caterer, we get some fun moments, like some rom-com moments.
So well versed in the technical aspect of comedy. I mean, she is just, even for Marla, she'll, throw me ideas and I'm like, oh, that's genius. And it's, she's
good.
She's a talented lady.
Yeah. Love Nikki. And although the first couple, I was like, these are pretty violent for Hallmark. I mean, they got her strapped down to a table. She's about to be injected. I'm like, oh.
We were shocked actually too. We're like, wow, they're letting us go fairly dark in some of these. I mean, in grilling season, we saw the strangling, even just from like a technical
even just the blowing up of the grill and everything. That was pretty intense.
And even our lighting and some of the shots, it is a very, very different sort of way to go about these mysteries, which I really enjoy. I think it sets us apart from sort of that typical, formula that you're used to seeing. So I think that might be maybe a reason why people are enjoying it so much. But it's been really, really cool to see them taking a bit of a different turn.
Yeah. So for Scouting for Christmas, your character, Elizabeth, was really funny to me, very over the top. Like, how did you approach this character?
Oh man. Well, first of all, the writing
Yeah.
was brilliant. This was one of those characters similar to Marlo. When I got the audition sides, I just immediately knew who this woman was. There was no question about it. The first time I read through it, I was like, "Oh, I don't even have to do anything because this writing is just so brilliant." But then, as when I actually got the part and started to sort of develop her a bit more, I just kind of thought back to, my own Girl Scout days. And, I being in the performing arts, I've come across a lot of stage moms in my day. And so I've taken some things here and there that I've witnessed, and just kind of threw a bit of my own humor in there. And yeah,
Yeah.
just kind
Were
of
you
came.
were you worried at all? Like, okay, is this too far? Like, where do I take things? Like, how, like, calibrating it all?
No, honestly, my from my perspective, I kind of just swing for the fences, and then I trust that my director and my producers will come to
Mm.
me if it's crazy, and they'll be like, "Hey, can you just like reel it in a little bit?"
Yeah.
And they also allow us to do multiple takes. So I would do one that was just crazy off,
Oh,
off
okay.
the rails, and then we do another one that was a little bit more contained, and Jason, our director, who is just absolutely brilliant, I fully trusted him to say like,
Uh-huh.
"Hey, we need to take this down," or "Hey, give me a little bit more here." And then also Marcy T. House, who I've worked with on other projects outside of Hallmark. We've been friends for years, and she was there as a producer as well as a cast
Okay.
member. So I really trusted her to kind of lead me. But yeah, I just went in there swinging, and it was so fun.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Yeah. Did you ever get like did you ever get like Carlos or Tamara to break
Oh,
a
totally.
laugh?
Yeah, all of
Yeah,
us.
yeah,
We
yeah.
all were doing it to each other. I mean, listen, Tamara is one of my comedy gods. I mean, I used to watch her on Sister Sister when I was a kid. And so she was a lot of inspiration for me as a child when I wanted to start doing comedy. I sort of modeled it after what I saw in her because I just thought her and her sister were both so brilliant with that, the technical comedy. And so being on set with her and getting to watch her and play off of her, we had each other in stitches the whole time.
Yeah,
It was crazy fun.
yeah. I particularly the ending when she flips out about the
I don't care
cupcakes.
that you had your appendix taken out.
Yeah, or
Just so
stupendous
silly.
taken out.
So silly. And you know what? I do have to give credit to our wardrobe department. O'Neill, who was the head of the department, and his family, they did the wardrobe on this. And the the uniform that he gave
Yeah.
me and some of the other things we had during my fitting really sort of helped bring the character together, and just gave me that much more specificity in who she was. And I think without him, I mean, the little lace on my socks, and the badges on the thing, and her little beret, like it really helped kind of bring her to light. So I have to give credit to him as well, as he's just absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah, they really had like I liked the yellow and just like a fun look to it almost had like a Wes Anderson inspired look to it all.
Totally. And that's very the way that Jason was lining up the shots, and the way that like our delivery was. She would totally be in a Wes Anderson for sure.
Yes.
Hey, can we call him? Do you have a line to him? Because I'm happy to put the costume back on.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was just really cute, and the movie was it had it's like serious moments, and so I was just it provided a like jolt of energy to have your character come in and just be like, okay, we're laughing.
Oh, thank you.
Which
Thank you. And I'm glad. I know she was a bit more of a caricature than we normally see in those villains in these movies. But I
Yeah.
was really excited that she was fairly well received, and I had a
Mhm.
blast with her.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, do you have like a comedic actress who you would that you like model off, or that you think that you're inspired by? I mean,
Oh gosh, so many. Rachel Brosnahan.
oh,
Uh,
okay, I can see that.
she's phenomenal. Comedic. Lily Tomlin is one of my like hands
Oh
down
yeah, I could see that
favorites.
too.
She's
I
definitely
was
on my
thinking of I could see Alice and Janney
That
doing.
was my next person. I was
Yeah.
just going to say, I actually did a Netflix film with her called
Oh
Lou,
really?
and it was more of a serious film, but
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
her comedic in like
I
Palm
love her so
Royale,
much.
Mom, like she's just flawless.
I've loved her ever since Juno.
Yeah, she's
Just
Drop Dead Gorgeous.
hmm
Oh,
yeah.
phenomenal in that. So yeah, those are kind of my, and then, and then Tamara's on there as well, which I mean,
Yeah.
gosh, that was a bucket list moment too, getting to work with her. And yeah.
It must have been fun too working with all the girls, the
Oh, the little
scouts.
ones?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
little
And
ones.
it's funny because Audrey, who played Brooklyn, she actually played my daughter several years ago in a Christmas film called A Christmas Duet. And so we saw
Ah.
each other on set and we were like, oh my gosh, so good to see her. She's so big. Oh my gosh. But yeah, what a fun
Yeah,
moment.
she
Yeah,
is super cute.
she's so good. And she honestly has really, really progressed with her technique since the last time I worked with her. And then let's
Mhm.
talk about this little Layla too, who played my
Yes.
daughter.
It's adorable.
She only had a couple scenes, but let me tell you, her natural comedic timing is just brilliant. So
Mhm.
brilliant. I was
Yeah.
just thrilled to have her.
Yeah. She was very, very funny. It was, yeah, like I said, I just enjoyed it. I thought it was a sweet little movie and I liked Carlo a lot in it. I thought he like balanced that like nerdy, supportive energy with like still being kind of like cool and great leading man. I don't know. He's just like he was really good, I thought, in it.
Yeah, and
Enjoyed
he's
it.
just so lovely too in real life as well. I
Yeah.
didn't have a ton of scenes directly with him,
Right.
but yeah, watching the film and then just like experiencing just like him in real life on set,
Yeah.
he's pretty spectacular.
So which one of the beverage themed cupcakes would you want to have? Would you go after?
I think the peppermint, I think it was peppermint mocha. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was
That
my
was one of
favorite.
them.
Yeah,
There
especially for like
was
Christmassy sort of.
yeah, there was like apple cider and
Yeah,
hot
that's more
cocoa.
Halloween.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, hardy, or Hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/hallmarkies.
Well, we like to end our interviews with some fun get to know you questions. And since you're in a Christmas movie, we have Christmas themed questions for you.
Okay,
So,
lay it on me.
yeah. The first one is what is your favorite holiday drink?
Oh, I love a hot buttered rum.
Oh. All right. Yeah, see, that's what you needed to have the cupcake then.
I know, right?
Needed 6. They needed more.
We'll have to remake the whole film and tell them to
Yeah.
have that one in there.
All right. What is your favorite holiday cookie or treat?
Ooh, my favorite holiday cookie. I would have to say classic sugar with a really good icing.
Yeah.
Super, super classic. I just love like a good sugar cookie. I also love, my mom used to make this thing called pumpkin rolls. So it's basically like a pumpkin
Oh,
cake with a cream cheese filling
yeah,
and then
that's
like
good.
spiral it up. So I think those are my two favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is the I was saying on the podcast that those with like the hard icing, like they were having in the movie with like the hard crunchy.
Yes.
Those are not good.
No, you don't love those?
No. You need the soft, fluffy
I
icing.
love a good sugar cookie with an icing. It's like
Soft, fluffy icing is very, it may not be as
I'll
cute.
I'll compromise. We'll do the song.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But they do look cute, so I get it. All right. What is your favorite Christmas song or carol?
Oh my gosh. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It goes, hark, how the bells, sweet silver bells.
Oh
What's the
yeah,
name?
Carol of the
That one.
Bells.
Carol of the Bells. Thank
Yeah,
you.
good
I
one.
love that one. I think it's because from Home Alone. It was like
Oh yeah,
theme through Home Alone when I was a kid. I just love that
yeah.
song.
Well, speaking of Home Alone, what is your favorite classic Christmas movie?
My gosh, Home Alone.
Yeah, and I mean, you wouldn't believe. I would say, I mean, Home Alone is by far the most popular answer to this question, by far.
I
And
love it. It's
yeah,
so
and
good.
it's probably 80%, like way more than any other choice, which I just think is interesting.
But I think
Yeah, but
like
I
what is the
agree.
demographic of people that
Yeah,
you're interviewing though? I feel like we're all kind of had our childhood in the same sort of
yeah.
era.
I mean, I'd agree. It would be up there for me. It's the first comedy that I ever really loved was Home Alone. I saw it when I was 9 years old. I was almost 10 on my 10-year-old trip to visit my grandparents in California. We got a trip when we were 10 and we went to the movies and I just remember dying laughing, thinking it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen.
So funny.
I
And
still
just
love it.
so
I still think it's hilarious and I still think it's very sweet.
it is sweet. I
It
mean,
is.
I haven't seen it in a little bit. I'm trying to think
Yeah.
like did it like age well? I think it
Yeah.
did. I
No,
don't think
I
there's
think it
anything in there that's
did. I
like
mean, for the most part, I mean, it is violent, but really the like booby traps are only about the last 15 minutes.
that's true.
The rest of it is like him trying to figure out the grocery store and like facing off against the furnace and stuff like that.
I always loved when he lined up his little army men in the chute,
Yeah.
the laundry chute, because we had a laundry chute like that when I was a kid.
Mm,
And so I just thought it was so fun.
yeah, yeah. It's very clever. It's so good. And I love John Candy. He's so funny. So yeah, it's a
So good.
favorite. I agree. All right, which do you like better, Scrooge or the Grinch?
The Grinch.
Yeah. Okay, good. Which do you like better, clear lights or colored?
Clear. I
Yeah.
like the classic, just yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Would you rather be in a snowball fight or build a snowman?
Oh, snowball fight for sure. After I have built a fort and like
You've got that competitive side to you. Yeah.
totally.
Uh-huh. Okay, good. Would you consider yourself a good gift wrapper or not?
Oh, I am the best gift wrapper ever because I everything is perfect. I like origami it. You can't see
Oh,
any of my tape.
oh,
I
good.
line
You've
up
got
all
like
the
corners and
patterns.
everything. It's all in
Oh
line.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's good. All right, last question. Do you have an ugly Christmas sweater?
I don't. However, it's because we recently moved and I got rid of a bunch of stuff and I felt like I needed to update it. So we will
Uh-huh.
have a new one this season.
Oh,
I've already
good.
picked it out. It's like on
Oh, you
order.
did. Like if you're up there in Canada, you need sweaters.
We do, but
Lots.
there's a very specific one that I've wanted for a while. And so
Oh,
it's on order and I'm very excited about
yeah.
it.
Because it's freezing up there. I mean, I lived in Indiana, almost in Michigan for two
Yeah.
years, and it was brutal. And I can't even imagine being higher.
You know, it's funny because Vancouver isn't that much higher if you really like take a look at it. We're
Hmm.
not too high. I mean, once you get up into the Yukon
Oh my
and
gosh.
Whitehorse and all that, it's nuts. Vancouver's not too bad actually. As long as you have
Mm,
the right gear, you're fine. Now, when I
yeah.
moved from LA to Vancouver, that
Yeah.
first winter was a little brutal. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's livable.
Yeah. I mean, I guess at least you don't really have to be out in it that much,
No.
unless you're shooting a movie or something
Well,
outside.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah, I know that's the ironic thing is that you probably have to pretend to be in spring weather in the freezing cold and you have to pretend to be in winter in the
Listen, I don't know who schedules these things, but we need to have a talk with them because that is the truth. It's
Yeah.
always seems like we are opposite the seasons for some reason. And I'm like, why would you do that to us?
Yeah.
Why? But we make it work.
Yeah. Well, you did it. You answered all the questions.
Yay!
Thank you so much for coming and talk with us. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much, Rachel. I really appreciate you guys having us and all the support that you and your listeners give us. I mean, we couldn't make these films without all of you. So thank you. Thank
We'll
you.
be looking forward to seeing what you have for us in 2025.
Yeah, me too.
Do you have social media or anything like that you want to share?
I do. Yeah, everything is at Jaycie Dotin. Come on over, say hello.
Great. We'll have that all in the description. And people can follow you. And thanks again. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas.
You too. Thank you so much.
We'd like to thank Jaycie for coming on the podcast. This was so much fun to get to talk with her. I had a blast. Hope you did too. Let us know what you think of all the different things we talked about in the comment section or on Twitter. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. So check that out. Also, make sure you're following the podcast, Hallmarkies Pod, Hallmarkies Podcast, all over social media. And if you're listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. We sure appreciate it. And if you are watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Most of our viewers are not subscribers. So if you fit in that camp, please subscribe. It helps the algorithm so much. So thank you so much for that. We also have our Patreon group, which is the biggest way you can support us. And we sure appreciate our patrons, and we try to make it well worth your while with watch-alongs and other perks. So please take a look at that. And we have our merch store where we have new designs for Christmas Story and for It's a Wonderful Life and more. Check that out. And thanks so much again to Jaycie. We'll talk to you later. Bye.